Kevin Kuzia from fierceandmighty.com. Relentlessly push yourself forward, and coming to you with yet another video today. As you can see, I decided to really dress up for the occasion with my self-cut off sleeveless t-shirt attire. Only the best for anybody who deems it necessary to watch one of my videos. Love you guys. So what we're going to be talking a little bit about today is something that I like to think of as, that's on you, bro. Although truthfully, before I begin, there's always a part of me that when I go back and I look at these videos and I notice the fact that there's an open door in the background based on where I have my laptop set up with the webcam to actually record these things, I always wonder whether I'm going to spend half the time with the video that I can see up on the screen, checking in the rear view, protecting my six, so to speak, to make sure that somebody doesn't walk in on me. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not some paranoid, delusional lunatic. I think I'm some other kind of lunatic altogether. But anyway, I'm not some paranoid, delusional lunatic. But that being said, the fact that I can see it the entire time makes me feel like I'm going to be in the middle of the movie The Ring, and something creepy is going to come crawling into the floor behind me. I really do think about a lot of random crap a lot of the time, don't I? And then actually start talking about it out loud. Oh, that wasn't my inner voice, was it? Anyway, so back to the lecture at hand. What I was thinking about today is something that I call a little bit of, that's on you, bro. What exactly do I mean on that? So one of the things I think is kind of interesting is how you interact with other people in your day-to-day life. And obviously that can take on a lot of different forms. But something I think is very important is a lot of times people will tend to react to how others treat them. I do it, you do it, everybody tends to do it. But what I've tried to make a much more concerted effort about is not to let myself be unduly affected by how others necessarily treat me in terms of how I'm going to interact towards others, right? So if I have a particular standard of, let's just say you pick the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, you know, that's one of those things that you're just going to go out and do it, all right? That's on me, okay? So if I'm walking down, here's a perfect example. So the building that I work in has an extremely long hallway in two different spots. I mean, it's got to be like 80 or 90 yards long. I mean, it is really, really long. And so there'll be different points where I'll be walking down and somebody will be walking in the opposite direction. And what'll happen is, you know, you're trying to judge that exact distance at which it's socially acceptable to acknowledge each other and say hello, as opposed to like say hi from 70 yards apart and then you're still closing on each other, but now just awkwardly looking at each other, right? I mean, that's just kind of weird. Anyway, I digress yet again. So one of the things I've noticed is I've tried to make it a point that when I see people in the hallway, whether I actually know who they are or not, is to try to look them in the eye. If they look me back in the eye, I try to say hello. And what's funny is that in the northeast part of the United States, you know, people are a little bit more reserved about themselves. They do not necessarily are all like, hey, with everybody they see and meet. That's why anytime somebody from New England goes down to some place like the South, where everybody and anybody will end up talking to you, it actually takes a little while to get used to it. I remember one time going down to Williamsburg, Virginia, going in, I think, to a Food Lion. I'm coming to check out, and the woman at the running the cash register starts chatting up about Lord only knows what. Now, I had only been down in Williamsburg for a few days, so I'm still completely in New England mindset. And my first thought was like, you know, she's trying to get me to sign up for some coupon code or club here, when in actuality all she was doing was chatting with me. After a few more days when I readjust, I begin to enjoy it, but at first it's like, whoa, slow your roll. So what I've tried to do though at work is try to say hello to people. And a lot of times people won't even make any kind of eye contact. It doesn't even necessarily have to be at work, just generally around in this area. Right? And so that's how I look at it, is that's on you, bro. That how you're going to interact is not going to necessarily affect what I'm going to decide to do on a day-to-day basis, right? If I've determined that I want to try to be, you know, more friendly, more outgoing with people, just to give them the pleasant courtesy of saying hello in the hallway, even if we don't know each other, right? I'm not going to stop that just because in a lot of cases people don't even necessarily look me back in the eye. And so I think that's just an important thing to do. I think a lot of times people tend to think, well, if so-and-so is not going to do that in return, then, screw it. I'm not going to give them that level of treatment. And that's an easy thing to fall into. I know I do. But I think it's actually very important to kind of hold yourself to one particular standard. And if anybody else doesn't do that in return, that's on you, bro. So just a quick little message for today with my sleeveless muscle t-shirt and my snazzy new golf hat a couple hours before I go out and hit the links to play. But just think about that a little bit. Think about what you want to put on yourself today and what you think actually you'd like to maintain for yourself in relation to other people. And just remember, it's totally okay if you don't want to actually use the term, that's on you, bro. Just a thought. Although you might kind of like it. It grows on you after a while. Although I must admit, if there's one term in all of the lexicon of today's society that I wish I could retire, it's you mad, bro? Yes. Yes, bro. I am indeed mad. So again, Kevin Kuzia, fierceandmighty.com, relentlessly push yourself forward. Please feel free to check out my Facebook page. Hopefully I'll have the URL appearing right down below right about now. And check out the blog at fierceandmighty.com. Hope to see all of you there. Relentlessly push yourself forward. Kevin Kuzia, signing off.